Hey, mic test for myself. Hey, mic test. Hey. Alright, does that yeah, damage me, but not much. Especially because I'm gonna pop another one of these. Why am I fat rolling now? There we go. Alright, let's... So he's just gonna be here for a while. Solier. See, really, this is going to be the biggest hurdle going ahead, is either I have to get good at running past this guy or good at killing him. What? No, that bloodstain's gone. Like... Actually, I might... I'm gonna look at the pit and assess it. Yeah, because I definitely need that humanity back if I want to be one-shotting these guys. Let's see. Talisman. Homeward. Yeah, so I'm going to run down there, maybe grab one of those items, and just bone out. He's still going to be hostile. Yeah. Got that humanity back. But I am gonna have to... So if I die in the boss, which is remarkably likely, I am gonna probably switch off this weapon for the boss runs, just so I'm doing more damage. Because really, the only part of this where damage matters is I want to be able to one-shot those guys. Because, like... best case scenario... Not best case. Best case scenario is I don't die again, but... like, a realist... like, what I consider a good run is it's gonna take me 3 attempts at the boss. Ah, God, they're... And think about it, this is the painless way to get back. Like, this is the easy way to do it. See if I can just run it. No. No, I cannot. Though I do have enough time, it looks like, to drink, so... Things aren't even that fast. So, after I do one run and have, like, gotten all the items and stuff, I'll probably not even bother with these dudes. I just know with my luck of doing stuff on stream, it's going to take me like a dozen runs to do this, even though it only took me 3 on my last character. So here's another Daughter of Chaos for some reason. The spell she was about to do is very cool, but also would have likely killed me. So that is the boss door. She does not respawn. I'm going to grab an item or two that is over here, because I don't want to come back. For most people, this is the first time where you'd see this guy, because the part with Siegmeyer is if you're doing the main route, actually past the boss, not before it. And he is guarding this chest. Pyromancy, Chaos Fire Whip. Thank you. God, does this look like that should be a door? Like, I love that that's the sky and not the ground. Like, I love the look of this place. It's such a shame about the other parts of it. They're not wrong. Kind of hard to explain, but there is a reason I'm doing this. Because this boss ain't about being able to punch it good. Jeez. Really? Because I don't want to go, like, naked in there or anything, but... There we are. Old chicken legs. This is probably a bad idea, but... Alright, so it's not 100%, but it is heavily implied that this boss is what remains of the Witch of Izalith. Or something. This animation looks so bad. Hey, what's cracking? And we moving! Hey. Hey, Bed of Chaos. You're literally invincible. Let's just walk into this thing that looks like you shouldn't be able to go inside. The weird thing is, the same hand is always freed first, no matter which one of the two you go for. There is a certain proximity to roots or trees that means a floor won't crumple away. I'm not saying it's not bullshit, I'm just saying it is in fact predictable. Alright. Shot 1. Let's see if we can do it in 3. So, the reason I say do that in 3 is those things that shackle the hands don't respawn. You know, probably a better idea would be put Havel back on so I can have a little more weight. Let's slap a shield on until I get back up there. I need to clean out this inventory real bad. I feel like those things not respawning was them going like, oh, this fight's total bullshit. And their method of fixing it was, rather than fix the boss fight, was like, let's make the first 2 stages permanent if you do once you do them once. And like the floor stays broken too. It's so weird. But let's... Nothing says a good section of the game like me going, let's fucking get this over with. I would have done this first if it weren't for questline stuff. I was tempted to, once I freed the daughter, to just come back here, like, and leave Seath for after. You can kind of be reckless on this run because you don't really need Estus, because most things are just going to kill you or not. The one who sells you Pyromancy is doing alright. And honestly, I think the implication is that one that I killed a minute ago was fine in just defending the Bed of Chaos. But it's not... Hey, I didn't attack her. God, this zone is such a bummer, 'cause it's such a fucking cool zone. Like, ugh, all this is so rad. Alright, let's fucking do this. Oh, do not. Damn it. Fuck this. I'm leaving the goddamn shield on. Fuck this. So how's your day, babe? Yeah. Oh no, this is... I signed up for the Bed of Chaos, and I'm getting the Bed of Chaos, like... First time I did this, I didn't have the shortcuts to this run, so I had to do this fight, not knowing what I was doing, with a run that was at least twice as long. And back in those days, I was super anxious about enemies, so I killed everything on the way every time. Those two things don't line up. Hey, friend. Did I just work out a way to get through this without getting hit by him? Well, not saying I like it like a boring day, but if there's nothing to really complain about, that's still pretty alright. Yeah, I know I said I was gonna leave it on, I lied. You know, that last fight was technically progress because slightly more of the floor broke. I love how there's no sound effect for this at all. Wait, did it not? Are you fucking kidding me? Okay, I have a strategy I'm going to try when I get back up there. If you have any questions about flow of the game, lore, anything, this is the perfect time. I might switch up my gear when I get up there, like, I wonder if it's possible to make it so I'm not getting flung as far when I'm getting hit. Because I know that's not useful for the final set, but if I just need to get the second one done. But seriously, questions about anything, this is the perfect spot for them, because there's only so much that can happen on this run when there's only really one enemy that's going to hit me. Yeah, I'm thinking of switching to the giant armor and just getting huge. for I am become huge. Big poise for big boys. I got that from a Let's Play I watched of this game. That really should have hit me. I mean, really all I need out of a weapon is being able to hit fast, because the 3 things I need to hit all have like 1 HP. So... I love you, nerd. Alright. Let's try this bad idea. Can you smell what Havel the Rock is cooking? Yeah. Oh, this sucks. And I don't want to do it, but whatever. Okay, that is way better. Drink. God, that still hurts me so much. Jesus. Come on. Get in there. Alright. You know what? That's a fair point. That's a really cool, striking image. Also, he gets to sit. So, yeah, that's basically what happens every time, which is why I say a good shot at this is 3 attempts. So I don't actually think Big Poise is going to help me as much for the final part of it. Like, I think it's actually probably better to be light, but I'm not going to take this off till I get there. Yeah, but the thing is, once her hands were in the way of the spot where I need to run up to attack her. So by unleashing her hands, I have, she can attack now, but, she is now vulnerable because her hands that she's using to attack are no longer guarding. Oh, yeah, like, if that was the first hand or something, I would totally go heavy again, but the nature of the final hit means that I want to be lightweight. Because I want to be fast more than anything. I need my sprint good. because something I haven't really gotten into is that wearing heavy armor makes your stamina regen slower. It actually would regen the fastest with nothing on, but I'm nervous. I'm too nervous to do it with nothing, because I feel like anything would one-shot me. Almost got me that time. And the part that makes, and I think honestly the most frustrating part of this, is it requires a jump. Ugh, God. Let's do... Here goes nothing. I've seen videos of people doing this in one life, and it looks like witchcraft to me. So, best part about those pillars, random. Virtually not something you can predict. And best part about that is it sucks. Don't do this, don't do this. Okay, I died, but that is one of the breakaways that I think stays. So, God. What do you mean? What do you mean coy about the final boss? You know what? I'm gonna give this a shot doing the Havel thing again. I'll put the helmet on when I get there. Do you want me to say what the final boss is? I just haven't talked about it because it's not like this. There's no gimmick mechanic to discuss. There's no, like, it's not, and it's a good fight, so I'm not complaining about it. Like, I'll spoil it if you ask me to. I mean, everything's a spoiler. I'm not someone who's super hung up on spoilers. Like, I went into the game knowing who it was, or I knew the nature of the final boss fight going in. It's just, I don't want to say anything unless you directly ask. Like, the game straight up says, like, oh, it's Witch of Izalith, Seath, like all those guys, so I haven't minded saying that because you're told by an NPC what the next few boss fights are. Oh, come on! Oh, it's Gwyn. The final boss of this game is Gwyn. Like... Yeah, he's ostensibly, there are multiple schools of thought for why you fight Gwyn. I'll talk about it after this, because just doesn't matter if I win or not, but I just want to focus right now. Oh, fuck this. Do a better rotation. No, no, no! Come on! Ugh. Getting closer. Getting closer. Alright. So the thing with Gwyn is Gwyn, after linking the first fire, became the guardian of the first flame. So you could either see it as he is making sure you are powerful enough to succeed him, or is defending it from you, depending on how you interpret it. Jeez, he hits like a fucking truck. Oh, what? I hate this. Yeah, I'm going for speed. That's a fast one. This is gonna go so bad. I mean, yeah, it's probably better than Havel's, because Havel's not doing anything right now. And, like, if this were just a matter of walking forward, I would just go, like, Havel set, full, like, Wolf Ring, Iron Flesh, and just fucking tank it. But you need to do that jump. And once you've done the jump, like, you need speed more than anything else. Which is why at first I was trying not to use Havel's for the last part, because you only, like, Havel's set's only useful for the jump. See, what I love about this boss fight is that despite being, even if for totally bullshit reasons, one of the harder boss fights, there's no point to summoning in for it. Like, that's not going to do you much good. Yeah, but fire defense isn't my issue. My issue is not getting hit and then being able to do that jump. Because, yeah, fire defense will lower the stuff, but really, like, I either need to avoid stuff or reduce the stagger, and that was basically just reduces the stagger was gonna get. Try this shit again. I swear, this part only took me 1 life on my sorcerer playthrough. What? I've never seen it try to do that. I wonder if it can actually hurt you doing that. There we go. Fuck. It's at the bottom. Fuck me. Yeah. You know, in retrospect, the ring I should have put on was the serpent ring, so I would get more souls from winning, but not a big deal. Alright, Seath down, Bed of Chaos down, 4 Kings down, Nito's left. The first thing I'm going to... So, you may have noticed I have not unequipped this sword. There's a reason. Because the way these skeletons work is they respawn unless you kill the necromancer tied to them, unless you kill them with holy damage, which this sword does. Which is why I have this random faith weapon fully upgraded in my inventory. Yeah. I'm gonna see. I'm gonna try to get to a bonfire that's at least deeper in there, and then go back to Ulasil and grind out a little bit of humanity. I don't need to grind out that much. Plus, I might get some on the way here. I don't remember. Hang on. This thing's, even though it's a faith weapon, this thing does scale somewhat to strength, so 2 hitting these guys with a pretty fast attack is pretty good. So, if you are not a magical character, you definitely do not want to do this place until after Izalith. For a reason that will make sense. I'll explain when I get there. Yeah, I do, but I'm not going to be using Artorias' sword until the boss in here because it doesn't do holy damage. So I don't really need to do it right now because I'm not going to be using the sword. So when I first played this, I was so confused because I read enough to know the entrance was over here, and I felt like an idiot. Because you go down here. So yeah, I'm not gonna be, so there's two, like all of these, there's two parts, and the catacombs I don't need Artorias' sword for. I won't need that till the Tomb of the Giants. Okay, that's a door you can't go through, so you find this crack in the wall. Come down here, and there's the first Necromancer. Alright, so now, even without this weapon, the skeletons in this area are killable through normal attacks. Can't sit at that bonfire, because skeletons coming. Necromancers also, I do not believe, respawn. So, you don't really need it yet, but I'm just going to do it here because I don't want to get used to it. So, the Sunlight Maggot, that thing we found. A loathsome parasite that inhabits Lost Islet is completely immobile, yet still lives. When worn on the head, it emanates blinding light, which is why it is known as a Sunlight Maggot. This is one of 3 things in the game that produce light. It is this. You can get that lantern the Necromancers have if you kill every single Necromancer. And the third thing is that light spell I was using in Ulasil. And this is the most efficient one because it doesn't run out, and you just give up your head slot. And yeah, it produces the light effect for some reason. And now I immediately go to a place where I don't need it, but it's not technically mandatory, but no one is going to do the Tomb of the Giants the first time without this thing. This place is a giant pain in the ass if you don't, when you're first going through here. This guy runs away because he's like, oh no. And then I'm like, yeah, this is really good commentary. God, after playing through this with a character that doesn't use armor, just it feels like nothing is doing damage in here. Because, again, these things just are balanced around the idea that they get back up after you kill them. But if you use you can circumvent them with a holy weapon. So, like, you're, in theory, not supposed to be able to, like, clear this area out and walk through it. You're supposed to be dashing through it to find the Necromancers. Is he not there? Weird. So, if we had come here earlier, I guess he's not here right now, but right over this wall would be the first time you meet Patches normally. But I guess if you come here late enough, he's not here? And he's always in the second spot, so... But normally you meet him here first, and he fucks you over and drops you into a pit and kills you. Yeah, that's weird. Hey, Necromancer. It's cracking. So glad I upgraded this thing. And yeah, there's a ton of side stuff for like treasure, and there's a ton of stuff, and none of it is... It's a lot of good faith stuff, some decent consumables, like... The treasure's worthwhile, just... Maybe not for a build that is as directly structured as this build. Oh, right. Ah, please don't fuck this up. Yeah, patch is supposed to be right here. You turn this, and it turns that platform, and then when you go to walk over it, he turns it back on you. But he's not here. I guess. I wonder what makes him not. I wonder what forces him to the next stage. Weird. Also, I love that this kind of just looks like every dungeon in Skyrim. Yeah, this is a weird spot. Wait, am I mixing them up? I might have mixed two places up. Out here or something? I don't know. I don't fucking know anything. Oh, I think I know where this is. Yeah, this is optional. And mind-bogglingly unintuitive, if I'm remembering the right part. No, this is not the part I thought it was. So, that ring, if we hadn't attacked, would have made the statue of Gwyn disappear and we could go join the Covenant. This is also not the spot that I thought it was when I said it was mind-bogglingly unintuitive. Yeah, there's like a drop somewhere around here, or like a tricky jump we could do to get the best dex weapon in the game, the Great Scythe, but I don't even have the dex. I don't even have the dex to put it on. but a lot of players that are doing dex builds will suicide run this area to get it like as soon as the game starts. Look at these fucking Doom enemies. Jesus Christ. Oh, that hits them. Oh, but that's not faith damage. A fun thing is if you're using a weapon that's like blunt damage, like a club or a hammer, they will fall apart every time you hit them. Is this the bird that I thought it was? Yes. He's just one of our fun demon friends. Yeah, those demon friends are always really fun to fight and not the worst. Also, I just realized that other than Four Kings, the late game areas, all of them are built around being awesome for one of the casting styles. Like this one's for Faith, Seath is for spellcasters, and Lost Isleth is for pyromancers. This guy has so much fucking health. Luckily we're in a room that's not super great for him. He's also kind of trivial to run past, but not if you want to show off the thing I wanted to show off. Oh, come on. Only one? Fuck off. So there's multiple things in here that matter, and this... So that's a weird prompt. Just chilling in this coffin. Having a little coffin party, you know. Let's take a little nap. Take a fun little Dark Souls nap. I wonder, is it not happening so I'm wearing this? Boy, if you thought you had to be patient for the egg, for curl up like an egg. We're sitting here, I'm gonna make sure there's no other prerequisite, and I'm not just wasting time. Ah, okay, yeah. there's an item I do not have that I have to have in my inventory. So, what happens if I have the item, and honestly, I want to see if this item right here is that, so I won't actually say it if this is the item I'm looking for. Oh, yep, that's the item. You need that. I need to pick that up first. Alright, let's wait again. There we go. So that's Nito. This is the room where you fight Nito later on. If you attack him, literally nothing happens. And he has a covenant you can join. That is all PvP, and we are not doing it. That is about invading people's worlds, but when you invade their world, it causes a bunch of weird shit, like more enemies and different stuff, and I'm not 100% sure on how it works, but also it's buggy as hell and doesn't actually work until New Game Plus. So apparently, like, the invasions just don't work until you're on New Game Plus. And also, you can't join the Covenant if you've killed Nito. Yeah, we will, I will go join the Cat Covenant after Nito before we go to the final boss. Yeah, we're just back here. Okay, let's get my bearings again. Oh, hey. What's cracking? Truly a duel for the ages. Can I fucking climb down now? Yeah, so that is clearly a breakaway floor. I do not remember which one's the good one to drop down. I don't think either are instant death, but fuck it. They're barely different. What are these guys? It's been a minute. I think this is the only one of these guys in late game areas. Late game area, this is technically still an area you can get to very early on, but come on. So this room's a real fucking meat grinder. Boy, aiming sucks in this game, huh? Oh, right, the skulls. God, there's just all kinds of bullshit. That's... You know, let's top off real quick. Fuck it. Yeah, I probably could have sniped from that first drop. Remember these guys from Pain World? This is a bunch more of them. I was trying really hard to remember where they came from before they got at me. Yeah, this is forward. Alright, so we got some of the wheels done. But really? So you're hearing the Catacombs Blacksmith, which I don't remember how to get to him, so we might not see him, but he's a skeleton, and also he sounds like he was recorded in a garage. Like, the audio quality is really fucking bad on that one NPC. It's weird. Like, I don't even mean like the voice acting, I mean like the audio quality sounds like shit. Oh, this would be so much worse if I didn't have this poise ring. I mean, like, items and stuff, yeah, like, those, but, like, I have to get up there and drop down, and a bunch of shit that I didn't do. Oh, is this where I think I am? Yeah. Alright. If you want a boss fight, let's have a boss fight. What am I doing? So this is Pinwheel. Let's go, motherfucker. that's Pinwheel! That is actually longer than he normally lives against me. Oh, I got the good one. So he drops one of his 3 masks, and that's the one you want. So, the true PvP set is Grass Crush Shield, Pyromancy Flame, Zweihander, Giant set, except for the head, which is the Mask of the Father. Because the Mask of the Father raises encryptment load. One of 3 masks of Pinwheel, the Necromancer, stole the power of the Grave Lord and reigns over the catacombs. This mask, belonging to the Valiant Father, slightly raises equipment load. And also looks weird. So the real thing that's important from Pinwheel is we can now kindle bonfires up to 20. Oh yeah, Pinwheel's a fucking joke. I've seen people like do it in 1 hit. So as you might be noticing, from how fucking dark it is in here, this is where you really need the illumination stuff. I've seen people somehow take Pinwheel out with 1 throwing knife. So I've switched weapons because in here these enemies here are not necromanced. I don't need that many, so... I'm just trying to remember where the fucking bonfire is in here. Because I know I'm really close to it. Oh. That's not the right item. And yeah, that's Lost Isla. Where the fuck is the bonfire? Yeah, not talking to you right now. Here we go. So I'm gonna show this off. So reverse hollowing. We kindle it up to 10. But now, with the rite of kindling that was dropped by our good friend, we can kindle again. And now it's 15. And you'll notice the flame gets bigger. And now Kindle it to 20. So now we'll come deal with this chuckle fuck. Feel like I've hyped this guy up enough.
Good day. You look reasonably sane. What are you doing in the catacombs? Are you a cleric or something? No? Really? Then I'd have no qualms telling you. There's a fine stash of treasure right down that hole. I found it first, but, well, we're friends now, so I'll split it with you. In any case, have a look. It'll shimmer you blind.
This is what I do, my friend. The trinkets I'll be stripping off your corpse, that's the real treasure.
Oh, hey.
You're no hollow, are you?
Remember her?
Thank goodness. Please be careful. There are 2 fierce hollows not far from here. They were once brave knights, my former escorts. Who would let such strong spirits be hollowed so? Heavens, is there...
When she said up ahead, she meant up, right up ahead, huh? Dick. I don't know, they didn't seem that strong.
You banished those 2 hollows, did you? It
Yeah.
pains me to think of the trouble my failings
These are the guys from earlier.
caused. I am certain that both Vince and Nico are grateful to you. Thank you so very much. Here, these belonged to them. You deserve them more than I am certain. Thank you.
So she will somehow get out of here on her own now. These things are kind of a nightmare. No, the asshole guy is the one who lost them in here. Sup, fucker?
Oh, you. Well, let's just calm down. Talk about things. I did you wrong, but I didn't mean it. These temptations, they can, well, overcome me. You know what I mean, don't you? Please, forgive me. You and me, we're jolly undead outcasts, aren't we? Oh, brilliant. A second chance. Wonderful. I had a feeling you'd understand. I did. But, if I were in your shoes... Ooh. I did you wrong. But these
So he'll show up back at Firelink and is a merchant that has, like, legit good stuff. Alright, now I have to remember where progress is. Nope, that's not it. This place still kind of creeps me out. Wow! That is some damage. Sure. Do you mind if I just press on ahead to the next bonfire? There's not really anything eventful. Forgot about you.
protect yourself.
What? Alright, let's get... I just grinded out some humanity and got to another... Oh boy, do I. Yeah, the reason I wanted to make sure I got this bonfire is the other... I don't remember which ones are which. Okay, so let's sit here to get my flasks back up. Alright. Gonna have to go back through that stuff anyway, but I wanted to get that bonfire lit just so I knew where things are. So, catacombs have this weird thing where, because it's so dark and difficult and the enemies hit so hard, it's actually remarkably short. Not catacombs, Tomb of the Giants. You know what I meant. That was, what, 4 enemies, and I'm at the next bonfire. See? And then... like... this next chunk is definitely longer, but it's not like zone length. And that's the last bonfire before the boss. I was grinding for humanity. I went and got a couple upgrades on the shield. Like, just some busy work. Oh, and we are pretty close to the... No, it wasn't too bad. I unplugged the headphones and put a podcast on. It was fine. So we are relatively close to the final of the exceptions to the deaths in Dark Souls are fair rule, which again, most of them are. Even if they're not necessarily well designed, they're the kind of thing that I don't think are total bullshit. Like, as much as I don't like the Bet of Chaos, it's not because I think it's super unfair, even though it kind of is. But I'm rambling. We are coming up on, and honestly, unlike the other ones, I fucking love this one. Like, it is so goofy and dumb that I can't be mad at it. Also, I think there's an invasion here. Yep. So you could theoretically have this guy as a friendly. You also you can have this guy as a friendly NPC for Pinwheel. Jump. Now that I've killed him, after we fight Nito, his armor set will be in the boss room. So this room is where that bullshit death is. And I was tempted to actually just, like, let myself fall for it, but I'm not gonna. Come on. Alright. So this guy's shooting at us. So naturally thing you do is you want to charge in there, fuck this dude up. But he's got a buddy. This dude does the kick the player can do and kicks you off the edge. It's total horseshit, and I am just in love with that death. See, the first move he does is always the kick. It's this weird thing that is scripted in a way most of this game isn't. So I might just run through this room, because this is the room before Nito, and it has multiple Pinwheel clones shooting projectiles, and at the very bottom floor there are weird baby-sized skeletons that infinitely respawn, and until the DLC came out was the best way to farm humanity. But I just kind of want to not be in here. This is probably this is kind of a ridiculous turnaround time on boss to generic enemy. I remember this room being way worse. Alright. That was dumb. I was supposed to do that after I go down. And now that it's activated, I can't use it. Whatever. I don't like this fight because it does a ton of damage to you as soon as it starts. But other than that, I like this fight. I just think that one part's bullshit. Gotta give it to him. These skeletons are pretty neato. Ah! Yeah, that scream means one of those is coming. And he has a bunch of ads. At least he can hit his buddies. Whoa, what am I... Oh, jeez. I did not realize I was in a corner. Nito is really savage if you let him have distance. If you get right up in him and aren't scared of his ads, helps a lot. Because he'll eventually just do that and clear the ad set anyway. So Nito's whole thing, and I think this actually works really well, is he's way, way more intimidating than he is difficult. Which I think is, which I want to say is deliberate. Yeah, I've used that joke before, and I'm not going to stop using that joke. Yeah, Nito is a boss that if you... It's this weird thing where if you don't respect him, he's a lot easier. Where is that item? I wasn't going to use that gear anyway. Let's throw a little more health on there. Ah. Skull Lantern of the Catacombs Necromancer drew from his long beard locks. His lantern lights the Tomb of the Giants, and he has light-devouring Dominion of Death. Also serves as a fire-damage strike weapon. Notable as a bad one. So she's here now.
Hello. I will never forget what you did. I am deeply indebted. For it was not within my power to save Vince or Nico. I cannot thank you enough. In case you have not heard, I am Rhea of Thoroland. I only wish there was some way I could help you. But I am inexperienced and I only know the art of miracles. If that could be of any help, speak to me again. I would maybe just...
So yeah, she has some healing stuff.
Then be safe. Farewell, Rhea Nox.
I don't know what that's supposed to mean. So, we got a date with a cat, and we got a date with a god. Also, the cat is implied to maybe be a god, I'm not sure. And after we meet the cat and before we go to the fight, I'm gonna like look at the descriptions of the Lord souls and stuff like that. God, I wish there was a warp bonfire slightly closer to this than friggin' Firelink. You know what? I'm not saying I'm going to commit to beating it, but I feel like I want to take a crack at the more powerful Asylum Demon, maybe. I'm going to think about that. You know what? No, I'm not going to, because it's not a fun fight. So one thing that I won't be showing off is that joining this covenant causes a vendor NPC to appear in Blight Town. And I don't want anything he's selling, and I don't want to go back to Blight Town. Hey, what's cracking?
Is it not so that thou art new? Thou fared well to find me. That cometh thee not for the grave of Sir Artorius? My advice true. Forget this. The legend of Artorius art none but a fabrication. Traversing the dark.
Alright, 1, do you not remember me? 2, are you not seeing my gear?
Not yonder knocking for nothing, I say.
I don't... Her questions are weird. 1 second.
Thou art a strange one. Nevertheless, I feel some liking for thee. I'm Arvina of the Darkroot Wood. I command a clan of hunters who track down defilers of the forest graves. What dost thou say? Wilt thou not join us? Oh, yes, I believe we would suit thee well. I am very glad. And now thou art one of us. Let us establish a covenant. And here taketh this ring. If thou wearest that ring, it allows for thine summoning. If mine senses reveal intruders, I will summon thee. Fend them off, sir. I beseech only this. I shall summon others who will, by their honor, work tirelessly with thee. Thou shalt receive great reward, and whatsoever ye shall pillage will be mine own. A true agreement, not so? But thou must heed the golden rule. The clan is thine own family. To thine kinsmen forever stay true. Darest not in any attempt to double-cross. Have no doubt, such wretchedness never will we tolerate.
So, if I sit at the bonfire, all those dudes come back and are not hostile, and I forfeit the covenant if I kill them.
I've heard all about you. I'm Shiva of the East, captain of the brigade. Let's teach you the clan basics now, as there's no time to chat in the midst of fighting. Except there is little in the form of rules, you hear. Fight and hunt as you like. Whoever's fastest gets the prey. That's the way we do it. Only, don't forget what Arvina said. Traitors aren't given a second chance, for any reason. That's about it then. Don't worry. It's a good old time, isn't it? Great to have you with us. Good hunting to you.
So if you go to Blighttown, he's there as a vendor. This is his bodyguard. He doesn't do much, but he drops a unique ring if you kill him, which I'm not going to do. But that ring is, if you are in the lightest equipment load, it makes the light roll even better. So having done that, let's get out of this forest. So, that ring the cat gave us, if we wear that ring, it puts us in a queue that when people are walking around the forest, we'll invade them. Which, don't really intend to do right now. So, let's look at some item descriptions of some of those boss souls. So, soul of one of the four, bequeathed Lord Soul Shard, soul of one of the four kings who fell to dark. A fragment of a Lord Soul discovered at the dawn of the Age of Fire. Lord Gwyn recognized the foresight of these four great leaders of New Londo, and granted them their ranks, and the fragments of a great soul. Although this is not a full Lord Soul, it can still satiate the Lord Vessel. Soul of the Albino Seath the Scaleless, a fragment of a Lord Soul discovered at the dawn of the Age of Fire. Seath allied with Lord Gwyn, and turned upon the dragons. For this he was awarded dukedom, embraced by the royalty and given a fragment of a great soul. Although just a piece, it will still satiate Lord Vessel. Soul of the Bed of Chaos, and the mother of all demons. This Lord Soul was found at the dawn of the Age of Fire. The Witch of Izalith attempted to duplicate the first flame from a soul, but instead created a distorted being of chaos and fire. Its power formed a bed of life, which would become the source of all demons, and is more than enough to satiate the Lord Vessel. Soul of Grave Lord Nito, first of the dead. This Lord Soul is discovered at the dawn of the Age of Fire. Grave Lord Nito administers the death of all manner of beings. The power of this soul is so great that it satiates the Lord Vessel despite the fact that much of its energy has already been offered to death. So the implication from all of these is that Gwyn and Nito had wicked strong souls. So, here is the final conversation we have to have, is, do we prolong the Age of Fire, or not? I definitely been getting the sense from talking to you that you are pro-linking the fire. So you link the fire, and you prolong this age, even though the natural state of things would be for the next age, the Age of Dark, to begin. And it is unclear and deliberately vague whether the dark, being as destructive as it is natural, or if that is a result of it being held down and trying to push back. And like with any great power, the power of from linking the fire can corrupt, just as Manus was corrupted by the power of the dark. Any power can corrupt in that way. If you choose humanity, you abandon the flame and become the new Dark Lord, and who is considered the equivalent of Gwyn, but for humans. And if you link the fire, you become the next link in this cycle.
What is it? I go? Very well.
But we've talked about this before, and I definitely get the sense from you that keeping back the abyss, keeping back the dark, is where you land on this. Right, I keep forgetting I can't do that. That's actually exactly why Gwyn relinked the fire. And I've messed this up. I forgot there's one thing we still have to do with Firelink. Sorry to cut the dramatic tension. Well, there's two things we have to do with Firelink. Where the hell is Patches? I never remember where he appears. Oh! Game doesn't like that. Yeah, I can see your reasoning. Okay, for real, where the fuck is Patches? So apparently, originally, this statue is supposed to be what moved when you satiated the Lord Vessel. I don't know why that changed. Oh, here we are. Walked right by him before.
Oh, we meet again. How many of you are there? You've come at the perfect time. I'm done with the looting. I'm a humble merchant now, and wondrous treasures have I, at a special price for you. There you are. Oh, relax. No more funny business out of me, my friend.
See, there's a bunch of stuff taken from the catacombs, like cleric gear and all that. But also, the thing that's important is he sells the 2 masks that you didn't get from Pinwheel. One of the 3 masks of the Pinwheel. The Necromancer stole the power of the grave and reigns over the catacombs. This mask belongs to the Kindly Mother, slightly raises HP. This mask belongs to the Naive Child, slightly raises stamina recovery speed. Yeah, his stuff's not super interesting unless you want the masks, which I'm going to be completionist and just pick those up.
Right. Good stuff. Don't you forget who got... Oh, there you are again. Well, welcome to Trusty Patch's Trove of Treasures. We chop prices, not limbs.
So, if you keep talking to, he will just, like, shit-talk everyone in Firelink. It's great.
Yeah. Have you met that sunbathing Solaire? Believe me on this one, my love. He's a complete idiot. But he happens to be an awfully strong idiot. So just nod your head and keep him on your side. Wait, have you met Petrus? That self-proclaimed cleric? Believe me on this one, my love. The man is scum. Don't you be fooled by his claims to do good. They're all the same, those rotten clerics. What? Nothing a bit.
So, I was trying to get that line out of him. So, this won't happen in this playthrough because you would need to go fight a boss, and we're out of those. But, if left to his own devices, Petrus, who is the actual one who abandoned him in the catacombs, will just go fucking kill the cleric we saved. Unless you do this.
By the lords.
Oh. It can't end like this. Oh, hello. I'm pleased to see you, as always.
Okay, I've maxed out the flame.
Goodbye then. But don't you dare go.
I could, if I wanted the flame to be even stronger, go to Blighttown, go to the other pyromancy vendor and have her upgrade it further, but... so Petrus of Thorland is shitty and human and doesn't want to be here, and basically abandoned him in the catacombs to get out of having to go through the catacombs, and he was going to kill the cleric lady, who I can't remember the name of, so she couldn't tell anyone. but Patches kind of tips you off a little bit, and yeah, so the way to save her is to do that. There's probably more stuff the merchant under the bridge has, but he has nothing new to say, so...
What is... Go. Very well.
So, the one detail, and this is not a core part of the ending, but one detail from the ending we won't be doing, that, like, just a little piece of lore that you get from it that I want to share is the ending shows there being a bunch of serpents. Like, more than just the two we've met. And they're never really elaborated on, but they exist. So these are the spirits of some of the knights who came with Gwyn to when he linked the flame. And I love the way things are destroyed. You can like tell the fire went in one direction when the flame was lit. Like, this is all ash and soot. So I mentioned before that you would get to an area where you would find a group of these guys that actually respawned, and these are them. These knights, even after this whole time, doing their duty of keeping literally anyone that would try to come here away. Yeah, it's like that first one always drops a regular chunk, that one always drops a red chunk, so if you still needed to upgrade stuff that didn't use Demon or Twinkling, you would farm these guys. If you needed Demon, you would go fight that one on the bridge in Lost Izalith, and if you needed Twinkling, you would fight those clam things at the end of the Duke's Archives. Helm of the Black Knights who haunt Lordran. The knights followed Lord Gwyn when he departed to link the fire, but they were burned to ashes in a newly kindled flame, wandering the world as disembodied spirits ever after. I mean, they are, like many other things we fought, basically hollow, and are still just performing the duty they had in life, which was guarding this. And basically as a final test to see if you're worthy. So, here's Solier. You have to do his entire questline the way we did it to get him to show up here. Him being available here is the reward for his questline. But I think this is a fight we do alone. This is our fight, and we will meet our destiny head on. And that last summon sign is probably a player. Yep, that's a player. Now, is this a player? Yes. That appears to be the same player, actually. Alright. I'm gonna shut up because the music for Gwen's fight is fucking incredible. And it wouldn't be incredible if all the boss fights had music like this, because it's so different. And it's good. And it is really fitting for this fight, because Gwen is fucking... He is not in his prime, let's say. Fuck. Alright, I can do this. Yeah. Boy, I should really fucking sit down at the kiln. Not the kiln,
What is I go? Very well.
It seems weird that you can't warp to this. Because remember, Gwyn's title is Gwyn, Lord of Sunlight, and his title here is Gwyn, Lord of Cinder. Like, much of what made him a god has basically been burned away. And even with his soul split into parts for the Four Kings, and for Seath, and for his knight, and for the strongest of his knights, and the fact that much of it's been, and then even more of it has been burned away by time and fire, he's still incredibly powerful. It is so much a presented as a duel. Like, 'cause the idea is you've been building up all these, amassing these great and powerful souls. That this is a duel, not a fight against some great creature. It is a duel between two equals. That Gwyn, despite being a boss fight, can be parried and backstabbed. The reason, even though I was circling behind him, I wasn't getting backstabs, is because the section of him that is backstabbable is deliberately very small, and the parry timing is really strict. Like, if you're good, you can parry him and backstab him. I have never been able to do either. Also, it helps for this fight that the shield and armor have some of the highest fire defense in the game. Oh, come on. Like, yeah, the only boss thing he has left is a grab. He even does the kick. I totally forgot he has the kick. And I imagine the only reason he can't parry you is he doesn't have a shield. Soul of Gwyn, Lord of Cinder. Soul of Gwyn, Lord of Sunlight, and Cinder, who linked the first flame. Lord Gwyn bequeathed most of his power to the gods, and burned as cinder the first flame. But even so, Lord Gwyn's soul is a powerful thing indeed. No, we succeed Lord Gwyn. I'm just gonna...
Yes, indeed. The dark sign brands the undead.
We've seen that cutscene, it's just the start of the game again. This is New Game Plus. If you do the other, you walk out of the Kiln of the First Flame, and there are a bunch of primordial serpents who bow down to you and hail you as the new Dark Lord. So, not gonna get too crazy about it, but let's do exactly what I did when I beat Dark Souls 1 for the first time. there's no new information.
Perhaps you've seen it. Maybe in a dream. A murky, forgotten land. A place where souls may mend your ailing mind. You will lose everything once branded. The symbol of the curse. An augur of darkness. Your past, your future, your very light. None will have meaning, and you won't even care. By then, you'll be something other than human. A thing that feeds on souls, a hollow. Long ago, in a walled-off land far to the north, a great king built a great kingdom. I believe they called it Drang Lake. Perhaps you're familiar. No, how could you be? But one day, you will stand before its decrepit gate without really knowing why.
When a light turns on, look at the water. Specifically the reflection in the water.
Like a moth drawn to a flame. Your wings will burn in anguish. Time after time. For that is your fate. The fate of the cursed.
seems to be the ruckus?
Oh my, your face. The face of the curse. It's an undead. An undead has come to play. They all end up here. All the ones like you. You spoke to that kind old dear, didn't you?
You're finished. You'll go hollow. Yes, you'll become one of them.
Hollows prey upon men, feast upon their souls. This is the fate of the cursed.
What is your name?
So, I probably should have thought about this. So, going by the intro, let's see. I'm thinking our character was older, was a scholar, a very learned person, someone who the curse of the undead afflicted them, and in the way they are always rooted out, they left before any of that could happen, and the person that they were remembering in that intro, I am going to interpret for this character to be our character's daughter and grandchild.
At least you know your own name. Here's your reward for sharing. It's a human effigy.
Take a closer look. Who do you think it's supposed to be?
Think back, deep into your past. Yes, it's an effigy of you.
Actually, you know what, because I remember too, it is hard as hell to make a character that looks convincingly old. I'm going to say that was wife and child. Just because I don't want to make a character, because it's real pain in the ass to make a character that looks convincingly old. For a character I don't want to spend a ton of time on. I'm good with how this guy looks. Alright, and with being a scholar, I think sorcerer is a good fit. Get a very different play style going. Unless any other kind of play style is tickling your fancy. The one thing I'm gonna just say no to is clerics are terrible in this game. So I was thinking of building out this character as a like spell sword type, who doesn't completely rely on magic, but is very mystical infused combat kind of stuff. That sound good? Alright, there's no starting gift that is as... The starting gifts aren't as crazy as they were in the last game. So I'm just gonna go with human effigies so we have extra. Human effigies are the closest equivalent to humanity in this one, because they have changed how that whole system works.
All people come here for the same reason. To break the curse.
You're no different, I should think. Doesn't stand a chance. Well, you never know. Go through the door and trot along to the kingdom.
But remember, hold on to your souls. They're all that keep you from going hollow. Oh, I'll fool you no longer. You'll lose your souls. All of them. Over and over again.
This fucks me up so bad is that they switched which one's equipment and which one's inventory. So, a couple things are different. You can have a lot more items on your hotbar at the bottom. You can have 4 rings and 3 things for each hand. Another thing they've changed is life gems, which you have in addition to Estus flasks. Is just a additional way of healing because you start out with a very small amount of Estus flasks at the start of this game. Also, don't really need to cast on that. There's a. I'm just gonna get to the equivalent of Firelink and then call it. So the other thing in this game is torches, which matter a lot because the lighting engine is very severe and there's a lot more dark places. So you have torches that have a limited amount of time they can burn. I'm gonna do that a lot by clicking the wrong one. So another thing, so the way this tutorial works, so you can light torches either at the bonfire or at lit sources. It takes up your left-hand slot, and you'll notice on my left hand there's a timer counting down, so I'm not going to waste a ton of this, but you can light all these. It's a nice thing. So on this thing above us is the nest for this game's crow trading, because it's a tutorial. which I'm going to skip all of by not going in any of these doors. It is just tutorial areas, fighting some generic enemies. So you can skip it if you've played it. You'll notice there's the red bar below my equipment on the little equipment thing. See if I can get it to... You'll see as I'm hitting this, it's whittling down just a little bit. I don't know how visible it's going to be. But, yeah, so durability wears down way faster in this game, but it resets every time you set it on bonfire. Also, the game is way more liberal about connecting you to bloodstains and messages. God, the Majula music is so good. So I'm going to do the get acquainted with NPCs in this area thing and then call it. Talk to him in a second. This is one of the vendors. This is the guy who's going to have a lot of armor sets from bosses after we beat them. He also has a thing where the standard stuff he has increases as you spend money up on him, so there's basically 3 levels. And as the levels go up, he is increasingly more pompous towards you, as opposed to being humble at the beginning.
Hello there. Welcome to my shop. I'm Morlin, and I sell armor. Oh, sorry, I could really use the business. If you'd be so kind.
Can't actually buy anything, but he has some armor, some shields right now.
I came from the west. Have you been there? Very competitive. But
yeah, nothing. It's like, I'm from a place that has trade. Whatever.
Something wrong?
He's not particularly interesting. So, one thing of note is this pit, and that looks like a drop that would hurt me, but I can make it. That is not the case, because Dark Souls 2 has way higher fall damage. Hey, it's a cat.
Oh, undead are we? And one without much time remaining. Just about ready to fall apart, I'd say. Not exactly the time to be chatting with a cat. Well, suit yourself. Oh yes, you may call me Shalqua. Enchanté. So, what did you want anyway? Ooh, you smell wonderful.
She sells some unique rings, this very expensive one that is reduced damage from falling, which you basically need to go in that pit later in the game.
Nothing suited you, I presume? Well, that's dismaying.
So, we'll be back. Oh, almost forgot. Hidden item. So, the kick is gone. Instead you do this, which, kind of staggers guys. It's a lot less useful, and I'm glad that the kick is back in 3. But, whatever. Still has its place. Here's this guy.
Who are you? Oh, it doesn't matter. Just help me open this door. I packed my tools in here, seeing it was vacant. But now somebody's gone and locked the door.
So, you get the key relatively early on, and that opens up him as the first blacksmith. I am deliberately avoiding her. that, for the record, that building in the back of the town is locked right now. And here we have the old crestfallen knight, or soldier.
You're undead.
Same voice too.
You have that distinct scent, the smell of irreversible fate. This is Majula. It is a kind of settlement, a place where life is almost normal. And in Drang Lake these days, there are very few places like that. I am Solden, and like you, I lost everything, and now I'm here. You probably heard that it was possible to break the curse here. Well, that's not true at all. There's nothing here for you, me, or anybody. Do you know much about souls? Even I'm not certain, but I'm told that the soul is the essence of life itself. Anything living, sentient or no, supposedly has one. What we call the curse is traceable to the soul. Do you see what that means? To be alive, to walk this earth. That's the real curse, right there. We undead will never die. And that's quite a predicament, really. There are 4 beings in this land with giant souls. And wherever you go from here, you'll sooner or later come up against them. Each has a powerful soul and a terrible curse. If that frightens you, then you ought to just give up right now, like I have. Do you ever cry out for help? The journey of an undead is long and treacherous. You'll face invaders from other worlds at every turn. If you need help, why not proclaim faith in the Blue Sentinels? When you face danger, the Blue Sentinels will come to your aid. Protection is yours, if you wish. You need only accept their kind embrace.
So, people in the Way of Blue, if you get invaded, there's a second covenant called the Blue Sentinels, who will basically invade to help you. Like, if you get invaded, they'll be called in to help you. But I'm not going to do that. I ain't about that life.
Then you'll have to. If you ever require help, I will stay here and pray for your safety.
Just one more NPC to talk to. Ah, God, I forgot how good 60 frames a second feels. Also, this is just a really gorgeous location. Ah.
Are you the next monarch? Or merely a pawn of fate? Bearer of the curse, I will remain by your side till this frail hope shatters. Take this with you. May it ease your journey. Go on and see the king. He who made Drang Lake what it once was. He who peered at the essence of the soul. King Vendrick. Bearer of the curse, seek misery. For misery will lead you to greater, stronger souls. You will never meet the king with a soul so frail and pallid. Seek those whose names are unutterable. The four endowed with immense souls. Their souls will serve as beacons. Once you have found them, return here to me, so that hope will not fade away. Is that a shard you found? Here, let me see it, so that I may help you to see light, however faint it might be.
So, I'm going to show off something that is a running joke, a meme, if you will, in Dark Souls.
Bearer of the curse, seek souls, larger, more powerful souls. Seek the king. That is the only way. Lest this land swallow you whole, as it has so many others.
So, she says that series of lines every single time you talk to her. So the joke is her iconic phrase, seek, seek, lest. Because if you try to skip through her dialogue...
Bearer, seek, lest this...
Seek, seek, lest. Though actually, in this updated version, I think you can skip so fast you don't hear it. But yeah, she says that every single time. So, seek, seek, lest. Yeah, and you talk to her to level up. Unlike... So Dark Souls 1 is the odd thing out in the series where it's the only one that doesn't have an NPC that levels you up. Also, something they changed for Dark Souls 2 is you can warp from the beginning to every bonfire. So we will Jesus Christ. I forgot about those. We will get more into this at a later time. So until then, that'll do it. Bearer of the curse, seek, seek, lest. And yeah, it has to do this, like, check for new information to properly quit the game.